The Green Card Marriage Interview. Tips for a successful USCIS marriage interview. As a part of the Green Card process, all applicants filing as the spouse of a U.S. citizen or a lawful permanent resident need to, along with their spouse, attend a Green Card marriage interview. During the Green Card marriage interview, the applicant and U.S. citizen spouse are usually interviewed together, but may also be questioned separately. The interview may also be videotaped. The marriage-based Green Card interview is a major aspect of the inspection process before granting a green card through marriage. Since this is a frequently exploited route for gaining immigrant status, USCIS does not make it an effortless process. Green Card marriage interview questions about your timeline. Green Card marriage interview questions about your courtship period. Who introduced you to your spouse? How did you first meet? When and where did you meet the first time? Could you describe the first meeting? Where were you living at the time? Where was your spouse living? What did the two of you have in common? What attracted you to your spouse? Where did you go for dates? When did your relationship turn romantic? When did you decide to get married? Who was your spouse living with when you met? Did you exchange phone numbers and/or email addresses? Did you make arrangements to meet again? When did you next meet? Did you live together before marriage? Did your parents approve of the match? Why or why not? Where were you at the time? How long was it before you decided to get married? Who proposed to whom? Did you give your spouse a ring when you proposed? Why did you decide to have a long or short engagement? Did you live together before marriage? Did your parents approve of the match? Why or why not? What was the date of your marriage? What day of the week did you get married? Where was the wedding held? Who attended the ceremony? Questions about your wedding. How did you and your spouse get to the church, temple, mosque, Gurudwara, courthouse, etc.? Did you exchange wedding rings? Did you and your spouse purchase them together or separately? Is she wearing her wedding ring right now? Who were the bridesmaids/groomsmen? Did each of your parents attend the wedding? Did any of your and your spouse's family members attend? If so, who? Who were the witnesses to the ceremony? How many people attended your wedding? How late did the guests stay at the wedding? Did you have a reception after the ceremony? Could you please describe the reception? Was there music or other entertainment? Did the bride change clothes for the reception? What kind of cake or other food was served? Did you serve liquor? What kind? Did anyone get drunk or otherwise embarrass themselves at the reception? Who? Describe. What time did you and your spouse leave the reception? If you didn't have a reception, what did you do after the wedding ceremony? Could you please show me any photos of the wedding ceremony and/or reception? Did you go on a honeymoon? When did you leave? How did you get there? Where did you go? For how long? What airline? How many days did you spend on your honeymoon? What date did you and your spouse leave for your honeymoon? What date did you and your spouse return from your honeymoon? Did you get married to get into the U.S.? Did you pay your spouse to get married or make any other deals? Why do you think your spouse wants to come to the U.S.? Are you worried that she married you for a green card? What are your concerns about being married to someone from another culture? Do you think that your relationship will work? Do you trust your spouse? Where did you live after the wedding? How many days did you spend on your honeymoon? What date did you and your spouse leave for your honeymoon? What date did you and your spouse return from your honeymoon? Interview questions about your living conditions. Describe the place where you lived right after the marriage, number of bedrooms and bathrooms, furnishings, color of walls, floor covering, appliances, type of air conditioning, window or central heating, gas or electrical, number of telephones, TV sets. Where do you live now? How long have you been staying at the current address? Do you live in a home, single family, condominium, townhouse, or apartment? How much is the mortgage or rent? Who pays it? When is it paid? What floor do you live on? What compass direction does the front door face? How many keys do you need to go from the street to the apartment? What is your landlord's name? What date did you sign the lease? When does the lease expire? How many people are living with you and your spouse? Who are your neighbors? General questions. Is your sofa a regular one or does it have a pull-out bed? If the latter, have you ever had guests sleep there? What size is your bed, full, queen, king? Do you have a regular mattress, futon or waterbed? Do you have lamps next to your bed? Where do you keep your clothes? Where does your spouse keep his/her clothes? How many closets are in the apartment? On what side of the closet does your spouse hang his/her clothes? What color are the curtains in your house? What type of curtains or window coverings are in your living room? What color? Is there a carpet in your front hallway? What color? How many staircases are in your house? How many cars do you have? Do you have a garage? How many cars fit into it? Who parks in it? Do you use a garage door opener? Who keeps the garage door opener in the car? Where is the garbage kept in the kitchen? What are the garbage pickup days? Do you use bottled or a water filtration system? If so, describe it. Does your refrigerator make ice, or do you use ice trays? What type of refrigerator do you have? Top or bottom freezer? Side-by-side or French doors? Where do you keep your toothbrushes? Where are the bathroom towels kept? Where do you keep dirty clothes? How many sinks, toilets, and showers are there in your house/apartment in total? Do you have a bathtub or a shower? Do you have a shower curtain or shower door? Do you have washer and/or dryer? Do you line dry? Where is the clothesline located? How many remote controls are there in your house? How many TV sets are in your house? In which rooms? Do you have cable TV or satellite? Who is the cable/dish provider? Do you have DVR? What shows does your spouse like to record? Do you have a camera? Who uses the camera most often? Who takes pictures at important family occasions or during sightseeing? How many telephones are in your house? Where are they? Do you have a family plan on your cell phones? Who is the provider? What is your spouse's phone number? Does your phone have an answering machine? Who checks the messages? Where do you work? What days of the week do you work? What hours do you work? What is your annual salary? Where does your spouse work? What is your spouse's position at the job? What are your spouse's working hours? What days of the week does your spouse work? What is your spouse's phone number at work? Who takes care of paying the bills? Do you write checks for paying the bills, or do you pay bills online? Did you file a joint tax return this year? Can I see a copy of it? Do you jointly own any property? If yes, can I see the copies of the documents? Do you have an insurance policy listing your spouse as the beneficiary? If yes, can I see copy of the same? Do you have any utility bills where both of you are listed together? Do you have receipts from items you have purchased together? Do you have any joint bank accounts? Where? What kind of accounts? Checking, savings, money market, etc.? Does our spouse have bank accounts without you? If yes, what is the name of the bank? Interview questions about your lifestyle and habits. Do you set up the alarm clock to get up in the morning? Who gets up first? At what time? Who does most of the cooking? Who usually makes breakfast? What does your spouse drink in the morning? What do each of you usually eat for breakfast? Who goes grocery shopping? Where? How often? How do you get there? What kind of toothpaste / soap / shampoo do each of you use? Does your spouse use a regular toothbrush or an electric one? Do you have any pets? Which ones, such as dog, cat, fish, etc.? Who feeds it? Who walks it or cleans its cage, kitty litter box, etc.? What are your working hours? What time do you or your spouse arrive home? How does your spouse get home from work? How often and what time do you call each other by phone? When was the last day both of you spent the entire day together? What is a typical weekend for you and your spouse? What are your favorite foods and who cooks what? What is your spouse's most, or least, favorite food? Is there a particular food that you eat every week? What is it? How many times a week on average do you eat out? What is your special restaurant? What is your spouse's favorite sport? What is your spouse's favorite team? Have you ever been to a game with your spouse? If yes, when did you attend? Does your spouse drink? What is your spouse's favorite cigarette? What is your spouse's favorite color? What is your spouse's favorite movie? Does your spouse listen to the radio? What station? Does your spouse listen to music? What kind of media player does she use? What did you do for New Year's / your wedding anniversary / your birthday? Did you exchange gifts? If so, what kind of gift? What did you do for your spouse's last birthday? What did you give each other for your last birthdays? What time do you and your spouse go to bed in the evening? Which side of the bed do each of you sleep on? Do you leave any lights on when you go to sleep at night? Does your spouse snore? Do you and/or your spouse have any scars or tattoos? If yes, where on the body? Questions about your spouse and their family and relatives. What is your spouse's full name? What is your spouse's date of birth? What is the city and country of your spouse's birth? What is your spouse's religion? Has your spouse ever been convicted or have a criminal record? What is the immigration status of your spouse in the U.S., citizen or LPR? If your spouse was not born in the U.S., where was he/she born? When and where was his or her naturalization? Do you speak your spouse's language? What language do the two of you converse in? Where all places has your spouse lived before? Was your spouse ever hospitalized? How many children do you have? How about your spouse? What are the names, birth dates and birthplaces, hospital name, city, of each child? What is the name of your child's best friend? Who prepares and packs the lunch for your children? What is your usual babysitter's name? What is the name of your child's teacher? Who picks up the children at school? What are their least favorite foods? Which children, if any, still use? How many times has your spouse been married? How did your spouse's previous marriages end? Divorce, annulled. Why was your spouse's previous marriages terminated? Who initiated the divorce? Where did the divorce take place? Are there any outstanding issues related to the divorce? If yes, describe in detail. If your spouse pays alimony, how much are the alimony payments? Does your spouse still see his/her ex-spouse? Why or why not? If your spouse has children from a previous marriage, what are their names and ages, where do they live, and where do they go to school? How often do you communicate with them? What are the visitation arrangements with the non-custodial parent? Did the children see him/her this weekend/when? Do you know your spouse's family members? Which ones? What is your spouse's parents' name? Where were your spouse's parents born? Where do your spouse's parents live? Have you met each other's parents? How often do you speak with or see your spouse's parents? How do each of you get along with your parents-in-law? When did you see them last time? For how long? Where? How many brothers and sisters does your spouse have? Name each brother and sister and their place of residence. Do you know your spouse's friends? Provide the names, if possible, phone numbers. How long have they known each other? Where do they live? Do they know about your spouse's previous relationships? Questions in relation to your green card interview. Did you or your spouse go to work yesterday/today? If so, at what time did you and or spouse leave the house and return? Did you eat dinner together last night? What did you have? Did anyone else have dinner with you last night? Who cooked the dinner last night? What time was dinner served? Who went to bed first? At what time did you go to bed? Who woke up first this morning? Did an alarm clock go off? Did you have breakfast? Where and what did you eat? Did you come to the interview together? Did you use mass transit or drive? Where have you parked your car? What other documentation do you have to prove that you are living together as a married couple? Congratulations! If you are unsure what to expect during your green card marriage interview, or have a complex green card scenario, schedule a consultation with immigration lawyer today. Our experienced immigration lawyers will be happy to assist you. Thanks for watching this video. Please give us like, share and subscribe. The end.